Hi folks, we are in the great outdoors, and in Singapore especially, it's hard to find a location like this. But in the event you decide to do some great outdoor adventure, looking for some off-road trails, you'll be looking for a vehicle that will allow you to do so. Well, it's just your luck. We have such a vehicle for you today. Since 1948, Land Rover has been producing authentic 4x4s with models like the Defender, the Discovery, the Evoque, just to name a few, and exporting to over 170 countries. The all-new Discovery is basically a replacement for the Freelander, which was discontinued in 2014, and it's based on the Range Rover Evoque, but a little more family-friendly. The all-new Discovery is powered by a 2-litre 4-cylinder Ingenium diesel engine, which is designed to give you impressive torque, more power, lower emissions, great mileage, all with a TD4 engine of lightweight construction. The all-new Discovery is of course built for the great outdoors, and with the great outdoors you'll be needing space for your camping gear, your bicycle, and a whole bunch of other stuff that you're going to pack into the car. And how do you get into the boot? Well, a number of ways Land Rover has given you. One is via the key. There's also a sensor here, and another way, if you happen to be carrying all those camping equipment and you just don't have any hands-free, all you need to do is, there's actually a sensor here. All you need to do is like kick it here, and the boot automatically opens. And in terms of boot space, you have a total of 194 liters of space. And if you remove all the seats, and by the way folks, this is once again a 7-seater. Okay, let me just pop out the seats to show you. So you can actually have 7 people sitting in this car. But if you bring all the seats down, you get a total of 1,700 liters of space. And folks, it's time for the in-car review or presentation of the all-new Land Rover Discovery Sport. Okay, this, by the way, is our very first Land Rover presentation. So, we're kind of excited to get this really fantastic SUV. And I'm going to make this real quick as what we do with most of our presentations and give you an overall view of the interior stuff which we didn't cover with my other parts of the review. Alright, so first of all, sitting in the car, if you're used to being in the likes of brands like BMW and Audi and all the German marques, sitting in the Land Rover kind of make you think like, I don't find anything special about the car. Well, to be honest, it really might not impress you, but I guess this car is more functional than stylish. Okay, but I mean, in that being said, it's still really fantastic in terms of the upholstery. It's got leather upholstery, nice stitching, and the minute you step into the car, you get that strong smell of real leather. Okay, so in case you're wondering, this car is probably not going to impress you. Well, it does. Sitting in it, you get the seats are really extremely comfortable, and you get electronic seat controls for not only the front and back passenger, not for front end passengers, but also at the back as well. So they've really taken care of that aspect of comfort for the driver as well as the passengers. All right, so you're really well taken care of in terms of comfort. And also the other thing is about ventilation. One thing I'm really impressed about this car is the fact that you not only there's vents in the second row, but also in the third row as well. So you get ventilation in the third row, and also this impresses me because there's also a control knob for the third row passengers, so they can actually control how much of aircon they want in the rear. So that's what I call thinking for the guy sitting way in the back. Okay, so they've really taken care of that aspect in terms of comfort and also in terms of the seating arrangement. So next up, we've covered comfort. Let's talk about how does this car handle. Well, it's really got tons of torque. Just in case you're wondering, this is a 2-litre turbo, and really, I mean, it gives you all the different modes. Once again, you have eco. Either that, you can put it in drive, or if you want a more kick, just put it in sports, and that's where you get that whole acceleration, you get the full power that this Land Rover can give you. One thing, excuse me, one thing that probably is a downside. This is a diesel. So you might, as you probably can hear it now, I'm just going to keep quiet for a second. You can actually hear that engine clatter, alright? So that, I think is the only probably negative thing that I have to say about this car. At low revs, the clatter of the, the clatter of the engine is quite obvious. But, like I said, if you're just going to buy the car to put your ear and listen to the engine, and then I think you should be driving the car in the first place. Alright, so the engine clatter is only at low revs, but once this car starts to move off, you wouldn't even know that this is a diesel. Alright, so once again you can hear it as well. Low revs, it's pretty obvious, but once I kick it up a bit, then you listen. right? So there you go. You won't even know this is diesel. And really the power, as you know, diesel cars, the torque is amazing. Okay, and this car is no exception. 400 Newton meters of torque, and this thing really gets you going. And I think the whole reason why that is because as this is an off-road vehicle, so you need all that traction, all that torque to get you moving if you happen to take this guy off-road. So you know that's one thing that I'm really impressed that this car, of the power that this car gives you. Okay, in other aspects of this car, as you probably know, Land Rover is famous for being an off-road vehicle, and you have the options of actually choosing the different kind of terrain modes that you want to be in. Of course, there's things like snow, which you're probably never ever going to use in Singapore, but we also have things like mud and everything else. So really, I mean, if you're thinking that if you're just going to use this for city driving and if you're not thinking about getting your feet dirty by taking it off-roading, then I think you're in really wasting, buying this car, because this car can really give you some really off-road pleasure. And in terms of technology that is inside the Discovery, it comes with the usual functions that you'll probably have in your other models. It's got Bluetooth connectivity, it's got the steering controls, so you can actually control everything from cruise control, your music, answer your phones, and whole car management system that's in front of this really nice looking display. So other than that, the only thing that you probably have to get used to is the gear knob, because there is no gear stick in this car, to be honest, really. So it's going to take a bit of getting used to, and I feel that whenever you need to change gears, so unless you're really familiar with the orientation of how to turn that knob, you basically have to always look down to see how to get to reverse and park. Okay, so that's the other thing. So if you're not used to not having a gear shift, if you're buying this car, that's one thing you might want to look out for. I believe, folks, that kind of in a nutshell covers everything that you probably need to know about the Land Rover Discovery Sport. But if you need to know more, please do drop us an email or whatever if you want to find more information about this car. And as always, do always remember to mention to them that the guys from Rev Motoring sent you. It's time to wrap up our drive experience with the all-new Land Rover Discovery Sport. Well, first of all, Singaporeans are still pretty crazy about MPVs and SUVs. And with the Land Rover Discovery, you're basically getting the best of both worlds. And with a brand like Land Rover, which has been in the forefront of off-road experiences, I don't think you can go wrong, basically. You're looking for a car that will afford you both on-road and off-road adventure. And with some of its capabilities, things like it's got excellent mileage, it's got really great handling, and the interior comfort is pretty good as well. I think if you're looking for a car which is going to give you a total package, the Land Rover Discovery is definitely a car you want to check out. And so now your next question will be, how much is it going to cost to drive the Land Rover Discovery Sport here in Singapore? Well, in Singapore it's going to cost you $203,999 inclusive of COE, and the annual road tax is $1,912. We want to say a big Rev Motoring thank you to our friends over at Wern's Automotive Private Limited for allowing us to have the Land Rover Discovery Sport for our presentation. To find out more about Rev Motoring, head on over to our website at the link right there. Till we catch you again, do remember, folks, do not use your handphone while driving, do not drink while you drive, and always look out for your fellow pedestrians and motorists. Till we catch you again, this is Renee signing off, and happy off-roading.
Thank you.